Tonight, an exclusive interview with Equinor about the future of the Bay du Nord project. Plus, we'll take you to a sentencing hearing for two young people accused of last year's brutal attack at a St. John's high school.
It is a 50-year plan that we need. Otherwise, we're going to find ourselves in the same situation in 4 years, in 5 years, in 50 years.
Taking action to not just report on housing problems in Nunatsiavut, but also begin repairs.
The president and the CEO of the league the Newfoundland Rogues plays in are in St. John's this week.
I can see it growing into having over 24 teams.
Great venue, great market, great history of supporting pro sports.
I sit down to chat about what role this team can play in the future of the league.
This is CBC Here and Now.
Good evening and welcome to Here and Now. All options are on the table. That's what an executive with Equinor is telling CBC News today about efforts to revive the stalled Bay du Nord oil project. Here and Now's Terry Roberts reports.
Tora Loseth dropped this bombshell at a St. John's oil conference last spring.
To announce difficult news this week is incredibly tough.
The much-hyped Bay du Nord project, touted as the future of this province's oil industry, delayed for up to 3 years.
Right now, it is not competitive. It's not good enough.
8 months later, this oil man is sporting a new look and a new attitude about Bay du Nord.
We are working actively, very actively, to make Bay du Nord project work.
Equinor has gone to the market looking for partners to help drive down the massive cost of developing Bay du Nord. And one of the considerations, hiring another company to build, install, and operate a ship-shaped production and storage vessel known as an FPSO. Previously, Equinor planned to build and operate its own.
Right now, we're in a phase where we are looking at all options, all possibilities. We don't know what it will look like. It will look different, but we are looking at everything we can to improve the project, to make it a project.
Loseth says Equinor has a strong team assigned to the task of making the project economically feasible. It won't be easy, but he's confident.
We have been successful in the past improving projects like this. So when it comes to the future of Bay du Nord, we remain optimistic.
And here's another reason to be optimistic about Bay du Nord. This rig will be back in Newfoundland waters very soon. It will drill an exploration well in a Bay du Nord prospect called Sitka.
The signal, I guess, is that we are committed to Bay du Nord because this is not a cheap undertaking. And of course, we want to clarify the resource potential in and around Bay du Nord.
The fresh start for Bay du Nord also raises questions. For example, what will this shakeup mean for local fabricators? Loseth says it's still too early to say.
If we can make Bay du Nord happen, there will be a lot of jobs to the province. There will be a lot of revenues coming into the province. That is for certain.
Controversy has followed Bay du Nord because of climate change concerns. It received federal environmental approval in April 2022, with Equinor planning to make it one of Canada's lowest emitting oil projects. Has that commitment changed?
We can produce relatively low emission barrels, and that it will be a part of our energy transition plan going forward.
So while optimism remains, there's still plenty of uncertainty, with no clear timeline on when Equinor will decide whether Bay du Nord will ever become a reality. Terry Roberts, CBC News, St. John's.
Well, the RNC is investigating at least 4 alleged violent attacks involving young people in Mount Pearl, and there may be more. The attacks reportedly happened throughout the community last week. Police say they involve a group of at least 6 youth attacking another young person, causing significant injuries. Several arrests have already been made in connection with the attacks, including charges of assault and possession of a weapon.
In these cases, it's multiple youth essentially attacking unprovoked another youth throughout the community. You know, in multiple locations. We have one location being near the Reed Centre last week, another in the Munden Drive area. So this is happening throughout the community. You know, we do believe there are other events that have yet to be reported. At this stage, there have been charges laid, and those charges include robbery, assault causing bodily harm, and those are significant violent acts. You know, this is not bullying, this is criminal activity.
Now, police are looking to gather more information about these attacks. Here's what we know. One attack happened last Monday morning at St. Peter's Junior High. There was another the following afternoon, an attack at the Reed Community Center Wednesday evening, and a fourth last Saturday evening on a residential street off Smallwood Drive. Well, now to another case of teen violence. 2 teenagers convicted of aggravated assault in a brutal attack at a St. John's High School were in court today. That attack sent a student to hospital with head injuries last spring. As Here Now's Mark Quinn reports, the Crown wants one of those teens to receive the maximum sentence possible.
The youths involved cannot be named, and the facts of the case cannot be reported because of a publication ban. Both of the teens are being tried as youths and have been convicted of aggravated assault for a brutal attack with weapons last March at Prince of Wales Collegiate in St. John's. Crown lawyers want one of the youths to be given a maximum sentence of 24 months of custody and supervision. They want the other teen to receive 18 months. Defense lawyers for the pair agreed with those recommendations. One asked that the youth facing the lighter sentence be allowed to serve it in a way that allows him to return to the community and finish high school there. Both teens stood in court and said they were sorry about what happened and apologized to the victim and his family. One of the other accused, Tyler Greening, who was 18 at the time of the assault, is being tried as an adult. He has not entered a plea and is due back in court in March. The facts of the case are banned from publication because his court matter has not been settled. As part of today's hearing, the mother and aunt of the teen who was attacked gave emotional victim impact statements. They detailed the profound and ongoing impact the assault has had on them and the teen who was hospitalized. Judge James Walsh did not hand down a decision for the 2 youths today. He's expected to sentence them on March 20th. Mark Quinn, CBC News, St. John's.
Well, at Cape Ray on Newfoundland's southwest coast, a new attraction has appeared on the beach. A shipwreck has washed ashore. Pieces of the sunken ship were uncovered earlier this week. They had been buried in the sand. Neil Burgess with the Provincial Shipwreck Preservation Society believes the ship dates back to the 1800s, and a shift in the sand from high winds and waves exposed it. There are now calls to preserve the wreck, but Burgess says it's not that easy, and neither is figuring out the identity and origin of the ship.
A lot of shipping traffic went around that corner of Newfoundland, if you can call it that, and obviously with storm events, there's been a lot of shipwrecks on that coast. So we've got to go back in the historic records now and see which of the sailing ships from that era went aground in this area.
Good evening. Very happy Friday to you. Heather Gillis filling in for Ashley. Taking a look at our current temperatures. It was a beautiful day across the province. Lots of sun and cloud. Nice way to slide on into the weekend. When it comes to the island, our temperatures are sitting between -4 and -8 for the most part. So still pretty cool. And up across Labrador into the minus double digits, as cold as -17 in Nain. Taking a look at the difference between right now and 24 hours ago, this time last night, it is 10 degrees warmer in Lab West than it was, but on the island you can see how that cold is pushed down. It's almost 10 degrees colder for some parts of the Avalons, especially the southern Avalon. But when we take a look about what's on the way tonight, we're going to have lots of cloud across the island. Could see a few flurries on the west coast amounting to about 2 centimeters, a chance of them through central and the south coast. Still cold, as we just saw, with some sun and cloud in store for Saturday. So tomorrow looking like a lovely day to get out. We'll talk about that and more a little later on Here and Now.
Thanks, Heather. Well, the country's housing advocate was in St. John's this week. Marie-Josée Houle was following up on her report on the condition of housing in Nunatsiavut. She was joined by Nunatsiavut President Johannes Lamp in a meeting with the Premier and Housing Minister yesterday. In an interview, Houle and Lamp say the meeting was positive. Ariana Kelland has this update.
It's been more than a year since Marie-Josée Houle saw how Labrador Inuit are living. What she saw shocked her, appalled her, and this report and its recommendations are the result of that. Now to turn those recommendations into action.
It's not just a report done, check mark. This is a tool. This is a tool that has recommendations on how to move forward and how to ensure that the right to housing is realized for the people in Nunatsiavut.
Houle and Nunatsiavut President Johannes Lamp met with the Premier and Housing Minister yesterday. Meetings with the feds have already happened.
We certainly heard that there's openness and that they want to be moving forward.
One of the key recommendations, to hand over control of housing to the Nunatsiavut government and to create an advocate who can see the report and plan through for generations to come. Things the Premier, she says, seemed keen to do.
It is a 50-year plan that we need because otherwise we're going to find ourselves in the same situation in 4 years, in 5 years, in 50 years if something's not done kind of long term.
But Johannes Lamp is used to the government breaking promises it made to the Inuit.
We have to hold the federal and provincial governments accountable, where Labrador Inuit have been dismissed and ignored for far too long.
Another hope is for a biannual housing meeting with the province and feds in Nunatsiavut. Lamp says it's one thing to see these photos, quite another to breathe the mold-laden air, see the overcrowded houses, and feel the cold drafts in poorly constructed houses.
Housing conditions like that is causing health problems, and so that has to be seen, not just by federal and provincial ministers.
When you set foot in these houses, and some of them you can't even get to the front door without thinking about safety because even the front porch is so creaky, and think that this is a reality for everyone every single minute of their day. It's very sobering.
Houle stressed her role is to advocate, not just write reports governments can ignore and shelve. After years of feeling forgotten, Lamp is grateful for that.
This is not the first time, that we have been requesting meetings with the province to discuss housing crisis in Nunatsiavut, and so the numbers are too high to remember, and on trying to get a meeting like this to discuss the issues that with the help of a housing advocate, this is a major step forward.
Ariana Kelland, CBC News, St. John's.
Well, in a statement this afternoon, a spokesperson for the housing minister says they're committed to working with the Nunatsiavut government to find solutions to their housing needs. Minister Paul Pike says he will visit the region in the near future. Now to news from the fishery. For the first time in about 30 years, the federal government has greenlit a commercial redfish fishery in the Gulf of St. Lawrence. The announcement came today after months of lobbying by Newfoundland and Labrador, Nova Scotia and Quebec. The redfish population collapsed in the early 90s, but now scientists say the numbers are up. Nova Scotia will continue to receive the largest portion of the allocation, but there will be increases for fish harvesters in this province. The offshore fishing fleet will lose about 15% of its quota.
In terms of the percentages, the offshore mobile gear fleet sector is 58.69%. The inshore mobile gear fleet sector, so less than 65 feet, is 14.84. The midshore mobile gear fleet sector is 5.72. And then, as the minister has said, 10% each for estuary and Gulf of St. Lawrence shrimp harvesters, and a quota dedicated to Indigenous communities. And then there is also a 0.75 for inshore fixed gear bycatch.
Okay, now to some sports news. The head of the Basketball Super League is in St. John's to see the Newfoundland Rogues in action. The team is just 3 games into its season, and as Here Now's Jeremy Eaton explains, the focus now is on filling seats.
The Newfoundland Rogues are in the midst of a 3-game series against the Kingston Waterloo Titans. Now, the president and the CEO of the Basketball Super League have come to town to check it out. Now, one of the things that we've talked about and is on the forefront of their mind is how to get more people in the stands here at the Mary Brown Center. Now, if this is something that you didn't know about, let me tell you.
BSL CEO Evelyn Magley and President David Magley are in town this week to see their league in action.
Great venue, great market, great history of supporting pro sports, and there's no reason why an amazing owner with the Kennys. There's no reason why we can't really prosper with Super League right here in St. John's.
To do that, fans need to show up.
We need to fill this place up. We don't need 6,000 fans, but if we get 2, they're doing good. We need some more sponsorship. We need to get a little bit more visible in the community.
The Rogues are the 3rd pro basketball team here since 2017, and those teams have played in 5 different leagues.
They do need consistency. We need to be at the 2nd, 3rd, 4th year in BSL. We like to believe, because we own both leagues, that it's just the same league, just rebranded a little different. But to your fans, it's a different acronym, it's a different look. So you're right, and I think that they just have to get behind their Rogues, and when they see the excitement and they get to know their kids.
But Magley says the BSL is here to stay.
What makes the Rogues special is the Kennys, in my opinion, because they do it for the right reason. They do it for their community, they do it for their family, they're not doing it to make money, they're doing it because they're trying to really bring something special here.
The Magleys see Canada as the world's next hotspot for basketball.
There are 26 guys in the NBA from Canada to start the season, the single most outside of the U.S. in the world. There's more NBA players that come out of Toronto than out of New York City. This sport has arrived in Canada in a big way, and it's only going to get bigger.
Expansion into the rest of Atlantic Canada and the eastern United States, also on the horizon.
BSL is a destination league. I can see it growing into having over 24 teams across Canada and the United States. It'll open more opportunities for players that are playing in TBL.
The court is fresh, and the players ready and eager to show off their skill set to the city. Jeremy Eaton, CBC News, St. John's.
A community on the Bayvert Peninsula is rallying behind a beloved volunteer. Justin Newbury of Burlington fell and hit his head while skating with his family last week, and he suffered a severe brain injury. While he receives treatment in St. John's, his town and the basketball team he coaches are finding unique ways to support him. They spoke with Here Now's Colleen Connors.
So Justin is a member of our community, and he's been an active member for several years. He's been very involved in recreation and physical fitness, and just a really, really great guy that everyone knows and everyone respects.
Justin's there to get you better and make you like a good fella, like off the court too. Like he's always now been on the court. Like he focused on a lot of his sportsmanship and being nice to the refs and being nice to other people, and he's a really good coach.
We know that, he's recovering, and we know that, he's doing great so far, but it is going to be a long road. And we just wanted to, as a community, get together and rally around him and his family, his wife and his 3 girls, and really just show our love and support for someone who's given back so much to the community.
We did Toby, so there's an intersection in Burlington, and we got a couple of boys right now raised a bit of money to help Justin and his family.
It was like a really cold day, is that right?
Yeah.
It's like -15 at one point, I think.
Well, we had the cars going, and every now and then we jumped back before the car.
How did you get people to donate? Like, how did you make a big scene?
We had posters that actually Ashton and his mom made.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And how much money did you raise?
$800.
It's also a testament to what Justin's accomplished in these students. He's shown them success on the court and off the court, and the fact that they're rallying together and they're giving back in this way really says a lot to how inspiring he's been to them and what he means to them.
Well, Justin always supported us along the way and everything that we've done, so we decided to turn it back because how good a coach he is.
Now he always helped us and figured that's the only way we can really help back.
We're all worried, but we tries to keep it off, just to push it off, get it off our mind, and just keep it going, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what he would want us to. He wouldn't want us taking us out of just ain't like that.
But this is one of those cases where, you know, it shows the good in humanity and it shows the good in young people, thanks to people like Justin Newberry who instill values, who instill good work ethic, who instills, you know, hard work and giving back to a community that these kids love and that Justin loves, and it's inspiring and it's heartwarming for everybody who's heard about it.
Well, we have been talking about chilly temperatures all week and what's to come, and there were some extra chilly temperatures in parts of Central tomorrow. We'll tell you how cold it got overnight coming up.
Well, time for a look at the weather. And Heather, I got out into the woods this morning with the dogs, and it was just beautiful. A nice, crisp, clear morning. Cold, but lovely.
Just so nice to see the sun, isn't it?
It is.
Even though it's cold out, it makes everything feel better. We'll see the sun into the weekend too, into Saturday for sure. But cold is definitely the name of the game, and we had some really chilly temperatures in parts of Central today in the interior of the island. Let's take a look at just how cold things were. Deer Lake, -27 was your low this morning, -25.1 in Badger and Cormac, -20 on the nose, and -19.2 in Millertown. So there you go. When it comes to the weather over the next 24 hours, not a lot to talk about. No watches, no warnings. Things are going to be fairly quiet. Things are going to be fairly calm. Taking a look at our highs today, we were talking about our current temperatures. They're not sitting much more off of that, between, -4, 5, 6 for much of the island. So still a cold day today. Through Labrador, your daytime highs pretty well into the minus double digits for many places in Labrador, or pretty close to it. When we take a look at our wind chill, though, when we get to this evening, we'll still be into almost the -30s for coastal Labrador, and into Lab West, -24 for the island, hovering around -10, again cooler in the interior, Grand Falls, Windsor, and Gander, -14, and along the north coast, St. Anthony, of course, as well in the north, -17 is your outlook for your wind chill this evening, later on tonight. But as we go into the early morning hours, what we'll see is things warm up a little bit on the coast and through Lab West, but the cold will deepen for parts of the island, as cool as -21 with the wind chill for Grand Falls, Windsor. As we go on into tomorrow, though, Saturday afternoon, your wind chill will warm up to about -6 for the island, and then still down into the -20s and almost the -teens for much of Labrador. Taking a look at our future tracker now, as we go into tonight, we're going to see some cloud now across Labrador, and it's pretty well just going to be a cloudy night for the most part. We will see some flurries, though, about 2 centimeters on the west coast, a chance of them through Central, maybe on the south coast as well. You could see a snowflake. As we go into the early morning hours, some of that cloud will dissipate a little bit and move about. Taking a look at our overnight lows tonight, into the -teens, almost -20 for Labrador, for much of the big land there, and into the -teens for much of the island. A little warmer here on the south coast, -3 in Port aux Basques, and -6 in Marystown, and -8 here on the Avalon. And if you look at our winds for Labrador in the coast, gusting to 50 and 60, but light in Lab West and light for the island as well. And you can just really see all of these winds. They're gonna just abate and come back to a really nice, calm day as we go through Saturday. Tomorrow morning when you wake up, those clouds are still going to be sticking around. They're going to kind of burn off a little bit as we move towards lunchtime, and cloud just moving back in again in the overnight with some possible flurries. So pretty calm. As we take a closer look at tomorrow now, our temperatures between -1, -2 for the Avalon, looking like we'll see lots of sun and cloud there. Cooler when we wake up with wind chills between -12 and -9, 0 in Marystown with some sun and cloud. Moving on into central Newfoundland, our temperatures -2, -3 through much of central Newfoundland. Lots of sun and cloud in your forecast, though. But when we talk about central, you'll wake up to some pretty chilly wind chill values, -17, warming up to about -5 for places in central. Conagra, -2, lots of sun and cloud there for you guys as well. Lots of sun, actually. And then you could be about -4 with your wind chill tomorrow. Moving on to the west coast, -2 here across the board. Look at that. Again, lots of sun and cloud. The forecast is easy when there's sun and cloud in store. Up to 15 kilometers per hour in your winds. Cool on the west coast in the morning when you wake up, warming up to about -3, -4 though. For the northern peninsula, things start to cool off as we move up north, -5 for St. Anthony. Your wind chill values in Labrador for Cartwright could be as cold as -30 tomorrow. -7 is your posted temperature. Look at all that sun. How lovely is that? And as we go on up into the rest of Labrador, we do pick up a chance of seeing some flurries in Lab West at -6. Seeing some sun and cloud and possibly some flurries for the rest of Labrador there, -8 in Nain, and our winds a little bit gustier here in the west than they are on the coast. We'll talk about what's in store as we head through the weekend and to Monday coming up.
Thanks, Heather. Well, a frontline worker in Shahajid says she's seen the harm caused by removing children from their communities. Janet Belfleur oversees a group in charge of emergency youth homes. This week at the inquiry into Innu children in care, she spoke about 2 children who were taken at 5 years of age and returned to Shahajid as teenagers.
CSSD, as far as I'm concerned, failed them because there was no effort put into making sure that they connected with the community. People were dealing with things on a crisis basis. So these children that were taken away and then signed themselves out come back to a community where they have absolutely no connection. They don't have a connection to their family. They don't have a connection to their siblings. They're couch surfing. They're just walking around without any real purpose. And then they're having children, and their children are ending up in care. So it's a vicious cycle over and over again. And if connections had been continued with these children and they were brought home on a monthly basis to visit family, or a family was brought out there to visit them, maybe not even that, maybe they come here and they get to know the community, they get to know their family, their siblings, grandparents, whoever. They just don't want to be in care, right? And they want to come home, and they think that when they come home, everything is going to be wonderful. But they come home and there's no connection. There's no language. There's no, I'm not saying there's no love. I know that families, they love their children, but that bond, it's not there. And I don't know if it's possible to go back and to recreate that now after children come back. One of the things that we talked about when we initially first started SIM was how we could help bring children home. And in our group home, we've brought 3 children back, and they're still living in the group home right now. I'm even talking about opening a home in St. John's that would be specific to children that have special needs when it comes to medical, but it would be how CSSD does their work when fly in, fly out. I would fly my staff into St. John's, so it would still be an Innu home, and it would be Innu spoken, and we would have Innu culture in the homes. I don't know what's going to happen in the future, but all I know is right now there are so many different things that we want to do, and we have a really good opportunity because of the agency. And because SIM is only 5 years in, we're still a very young organization, but I have a lot of hope because I'm sitting here right now in an inquiry that we've been waiting for to happen for so long. So I'm hopeful and I'm positive that things are slowly going to change and that we will be able to bring more of those children home.
We're expanding it through Ireland, Mexico, Pakistan, and later India.
Well, the Big Mary is making big moves overseas. We catch up with the local company to hear more about its big expansion. Well, Newfoundland-born fast food outlet Mary Brown's has been in this province over 50 years. It has around 40 locations here and hundreds across Canada. But soon, people will be able to order a two-piece and taters or a Big Mary in some pretty far-away places. The franchise is expanding big time. And here to tell us about it is Tony Samuelson, the Chief Development Officer. He joins us now from Gander. Thanks for being here.
Well, thanks. My pleasure.
So first of all, Tony, you are from Newfoundland, right?
I am. I was born in St. John's, Newfoundland, and I ended up in Gander a number of years later, and I've been here ever since, yeah.
And how long have you worked at Mary Brown's?
I would say altogether spanning on close to 25, 30 years.
So that's a long time.
It's been a career. It's been a lifetime for sure, but it's been quite enjoyable.
Well, Mary Brown's has a really big presence in this province and across Canada, and now it's planning a huge international expansion. Can you tell us what countries will be getting a Mary Brown's?
So right now we're expanding in through Ireland, Mexico, Pakistan, and later India. We're pretty excited about actually next month our first store is opening in Ireland, in a place called Lisburn, in Belfast, Ireland.
It's such a scattered, kind of diverse mix of locations: Mexico, India, Pakistan, Ireland. What's the thinking behind these countries in particular?
In some cases, or in a lot of cases, our master franchisees are well aware of Mary Brown's, and they know people within our system, and they came talking to us and asking if we were interested to as we know, we were in the market to expand globally.
Will the menu and the recipes be the same everywhere, or will there be like little tweaks according to local tastes?
That's a good question. Our marketing strategy, B2C, to our guests will remain pretty consistent across the globe. Essentially, we'll have the same premium quality products, prepared fresh by hand by essentially operators who care. Our Big Mary will remain the same. It's the #1 sandwich in Canada. Some of the taste profiles vary even within Canada, from region to region. Some folks might prefer a little more spice, while out east is a little more sweeter flavors. But same thing then internationally. Some of our side options will change. When it comes to salads, for example, macaroni salad may not be relevant in India. It might be a rice salad or something different altogether, corn. But no, mostly it's in the taste profiles. Like for the sandwiches, will change with different flavors. Right now we have a buffalo Mary. There's a spicy Mary. I hear great things about our Korean flavored sandwich that's upcoming. So it'll be different flavors added to an existing product, but the core product still remains the same.
And I understand that the Mary Brown's at Memorial University offers halal items on the menu. Will that be part of your strategy in places like Pakistan?
Yeah, wherever it's warranted and wherever there's a demand, certainly we'll be offering halal products, most definitely.
I can't really think of any other homegrown Newfoundland companies that has such a big reach globally in all of these different countries. Can you think of any other business in this province that has stretched its arms that far?
Not Newfoundland in particular. Obviously, Canada would be Tim Hortons, but outside of us, no, certainly not in Newfoundland.
And, when you started at Mary Brown's, 25, 30 years ago, did you ever think that you'd be selling Big Marys in Pakistan?
Actually, no, I probably didn't. Even when I started again with Mary Brown's, we had 72 stores across Canada, and now this year or next year we'll be reaching just close to 300. So I certainly didn't see us being in Pakistan.
when you're finished with this next round of expansion, do you know how many locations there will be in total across the globe?
In the next 5 years, I'd say 800 would be a reasonable amount. Yeah.
That is incredible. All right. Well, Tony Samuelson, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate you telling us about this. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. My pleasure, Caroline. Thank you very much. And we'll talk to you again.
This week on Atlantic Voice, Jack Whalen is in the fight for his life after a cancer diagnosis, but his attention is somewhere else. As a teenager, Jack Whalen spent nearly 2 years in solitary confinement. Now he's pushing for change. This week on Atlantic Voice, Ryan Cook's documentary, Jack in the Box. Atlantic Voice airs on CBC Radio on Sunday morning at 8:30 in the Maritimes and in most of Labrador and 9 o'clock in Newfoundland.
A jury has awarded an additional $83 million U.S. to former advice columnist E. Jean Carroll. The writer says former U.S. President Donald Trump damaged her reputation by calling her a liar after she accused him of sexual assault. Today's verdict was the second time in 9 months that a jury addressed Carroll's claim that Trump assaulted her in a New York City department store in 1996. Another jury last May found Trump liable for sexual abuse and ordered him to pay $5 million U.S. Well, we are still a few minutes away from our weekly birthday and anniversary announcements, but we have a special story to bring you first. Back in 1968, a woman in BC saved a tier of her wedding cake. It went into the freezer where it was forgotten about for about 55 years. So here's the story of Rochelle Marr's frozen cake.
Mom, she did a freezer clean out and she found a wedding cake. And it reminded her that this cake, it was a branch of a wedding cake. On her wedding day with Brian, Dad, her friend
Gloria, her mother, made this cake, and she made 3-tiered cake that my mother took to Woodward's to have decorated.
She kept one of the side pieces before frosting it and building the tower, and told her that she cannot open this cake till their 50th anniversary.
To be opened 2018.
And it's been 55 years since. Completely forgot about its existence. Found it doing the defrost, and there it was, this big round cake. And it's a fruit cake, as the old wedding cakes were, I guess.
Well, it was a sort of almost a blind date.
He was a UBC medical student at the time.
My girlfriend said, now be kind to him. He's really shy. He works in the morgue.
Yeah, they started seeing each other.
He wasn't shy at all. I didn't know what they were talking about. So we went out for down to the pub in North Vancouver. Yeah, so that's how we met. He was a doctor in here for 50 years.
He continued his medical career, and he had a practice, I believe, in Sicamous and then in Salmon Arm. They just lived a wholesome life. They had a good, solid marriage. And
we didn't fight. He was a good talker. Beautiful. And I really miss him because I wish I could text him or something and ask him questions.
Anyway, Dad's passed away. Yeah, Dad passed away in June, so Mom's found. She was supposed to open it with him and eat it.
Yeah, 5 years ago. Of course, it got locked in the deep freeze. Well, lost in the deep freeze.
No, I was skeptical at first. I was like, well, is it freezer burn? Is it still going to be good? Mom's taking pictures of it. Or she's put it in a pot with a base, and she's steaming it with water. And she said that I was like, well, are we going to dig into this? And she says, no, she's going to cut it up into pieces and give it to all the kids in the family and whatnot. So I thought that was kind of neat.
It looks good.
And it looks great, and it smells good.
Mm-hmm.
There'll be some cake for all. So there's the 55-year-old fruit cake. Yay!
Well, it's Friday, so let's find out who's celebrating. Happy 65th anniversary to Eldridge and Mabel Dumaresque from Lanceclair. Congratulations to Arch and Shirley Butler of Torbay on their 61st anniversary. Happy 62nd anniversary to Shirley and Will Temple of Sunnyside. Anniversary greetings going out to Ed and Marion Foley of Tilting. It's their 50th today. Happy 57th anniversary to Howard and Doris Brown of Mount Pearl. Wishing Eileen and Onslow Vardy a happy 51st anniversary. Happy 50th anniversary to Claude and Margaret Burton from Roberts Arm, now in St. John's. Best wishes to Phoebe and Lloyd Rose of Harbour Breton. They're celebrating their 52nd anniversary. Congratulations to Woodrow and Paulette Gatehouse of Bishops Falls. They're marking 50 years of marriage. Wishing Gilbert and Lily Fowler from Capstan Island a happy 57th anniversary. Happy 50th anniversary to Percy and Shirley March of Cape St. George. Bruce and Edna Hunt of St. John's recently celebrated 62 years of marriage. Congratulations. Happy 68th anniversary to Ronald and Agnes Keating of Long Harbor. Congratulations to Ernie and Ann Power from Point Amal. It's their 70th anniversary. Anniversary greetings going out to Leonard and Margaret Hines from Happy Valley Goose Bay. They're marking 59 years together. Happy anniversary to Abe and Daphne Pittman of Deer Lake. They've been married for 71 years. Happy 59th anniversary to Jim and Marie Cotter of Melrose. Congratulations to David and Alice Boland of Manuals, who are celebrating their 56th anniversary. Happy 62nd anniversary to Alva and Max Wellen of Ladle Cove. Lots of love from family and friends. Now to some birthdays. Happy 91st birthday to Marcia Brett. She's from Comfort Cove and is now living in St. John's. Birthday greetings going out to Nigel Smith of Bishop's Cove, now in Bay Roberts. He's celebrating his 93rd birthday. Wishing Harold Crane of St. John's a happy 91st birthday. Happy 91st birthday also to Raymond Gajou of Brigus, now in CBS. Stuart Button is also turning 91. He's from Silver Fox Island and now lives in Mount Pearl. Birthday wishes going out to Grace Chafe, who turns 94 today. Happy 93rd birthday to Ada Norris of Deer Lake. Birthday greetings going out to Frank Walsh. He just turned 90. He's from Gander and now lives in Torbay. Happy birthday to Jack Forward of Buckins, who just turned 96. Wishing Elsie Guy a happy 95th birthday. She's in Musgrave Harbor. Happy 90th birthday to Jim Davis of New West Valley. Irene Party also is turning 90. She's from Twillingate and now lives in Gander. Happy birthday to Livy Green from Sunnyside. She's also turning 90. Birthday wishes going out to Margaret Hillier of Corner Brook. Her 91st birthday is tomorrow. Happy birthday to Sam Gregory of St. John's, who's 91 today. And happy 91st birthday to Frank Evans, who's living in Conception Bay South. Another fine crowd. Congratulations once again. So the weekend is looking pretty nice. It seems like Saturday is probably the better day.
It is, yes.
Okay.
Saturday, tomorrow is looking not too bad. A little grayer, a little cloudier on Sunday. And then Monday, we could see the sun return, but let's take a look and see what's in store for the weekend. When we leave Saturday evening here, we see some flurries across central and western Labrador out to the coast there. Some cloud for western Newfoundland, but clear skies for eastern. And that cloud is going to move back over Newfoundland, over the island, bringing some possible flurries to the west coast and stuff there. But it'll all move off Saturday and into Sunday. And look at this here. You see some sun and cloud for Sunday, mostly in Lab West, -21, still chilly. As we get into, say, central Labrador and Nain, still chilly temperatures yet again, but sun and cloud and some flurries. And then as we get further out to the coast, we see a chance of flurries there as well at -12. For the island, it looks like it's pretty well going to be cloudy with a chance of flurries. We could see flurries for some places for sure, but our temperatures, look at this, they're warmer on the island, between 0 and -1, closer to our seasonal daytime high for this time of year, not as cold. As we go on into Sunday evening, we see some clear skies, just a few clouds over Labrador, and that will clear out. But it looks like we could have Monday some snow touch the island there and move on as we go on into Monday. So we'll see more sun and cloud for Labrador into the -20s for the most part, cool and clear. And it's going to be sun and cloud for parts of the island too, especially the Northern Peninsula, the West Coast, maybe even Port aux Basques and in through Central. But as we get a little further east, we pick up some of those clouds and a chance of flurries along with it. -7 and -8 under those flurries, -11 in through Central and -12 into the west. So a little bit cooler on Monday as you all head back to work. Taking a look now at our 5-day. Saturday looking like nice, then a chance of flurries throughout the week. Temperatures not too bad. Monday -8, getting a little bit chillier. For central Newfoundland, sun on Saturday and on Monday and some flurries possible throughout the rest of your week. Similar pattern for western Newfoundland with temperatures kind of cooler Monday into Tuesday as well. On up into the Big Land Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, looking not bad for eastern Newfoundland. And we have a 40% chance of flurries though on Sunday, even though we do have the sun and cloud. On top of that, 40% chance of flurries on Wednesday. Temperatures really cooling off there towards the end of the week. Western Labrador looking like some flurries there, chance of them on Saturday. Sunday, Monday looking pretty good. Some more flurries possible on Tuesday, and Wednesday looking pretty decent. Again, temperatures really getting cold Tuesday into Wednesday. Leave you with this lovely, beautiful, wintry scene. It's kind of mixed, a sandy beach.
Yeah, I don't see
snow.
too many sandy beaches, but that is gorgeous.
Isn't it? And it comes to us from the West Coast. Cheeseman Park, it's near Port aux Basques, Cape Ray, and that comes to us from John Butt. And if you have any photos to send to us, you can always send them at nlphotos@cbc.ca, and they could be right here on Here and Now.
Yes, we'd love to have them. If you're heading out the weekend, going for a hike or something like that, take a photo and send it in. We'd love to see it. Okay, well, that's it for us. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great weekend.
Good night.